Howdy! Welcome back to Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, and today I want to bring you one of my pieces of gear that I put a kit similar to this in every single cache and every bug out bag that I have, just in case. Let's get into it.
Let's get this showboat on the road, shall we? Yeah, boy. We did it. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That hill you see over in the distance there, you can just barely make out the fire tower on the top of that sucker. Stitching Mountain, there's some rain coming down through the valleys. Fulfilling promises. One subscriber at a time. That's Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival.
Welcome back to Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. Thank you so much for joining us today. And today I want to talk about one of my personal pieces of gear. This is a bigger kit. This is one that I kind of make other kits out of. So this holds everything in this one kit right here. This guy, right? Let's dig into it. So the very first question is, what the heck is this, right? This is my, I'm going to call it my passive protein kit, all right? I think that's a good name for it, a passive protein kit. And it's in a waterproof container. When you open it up, you see everything jumps out at you. I've got a spool of old military surplus wire there, 2 colors. This was used for military trip lines and stuff. 2 colors on that guy. And we use this as snare wire, folks. Right, snare wire, or to wire up a bank line or something like that. Snare wire. This is all about passive protein. So tiny snares here, some real small ones. These guys are super duper thin. I'll untangle a couple of these and show you one. Now these all have deer stops on them, because the last thing you want is a giant animal caught up in a snare that's made for very small animals. So they will stop and let a deer out, but other animals, not so lucky. They're coming home for dinner, right? Squirrels, rabbits, and such. This is one of the thinner snares that I have in this kit. Good golly. Here we go. Maybe I shouldn't have put them together so well. Golly. There we go. We got one of these out. So this one does not have the deer stops on it. Snare. It's going to grab any little critter that comes through. It's got one hell of a tie-out point here, right? Super duper strong. You certainly don't want your dinner running away with your snare. So you stake this guy down, set your snare, and any poor critter that comes along is in for it, right? Then we get into larger snares. These are much bigger animals. We're talking coyotes, beavers, large woodchucks and things of the sort. Something like this, raccoons, a bigger snare. Then if those fail, redundancy, right? We've got plenty of picture hanging wire here that we can make our own snares out of. You really don't need much. You just need to be able to turn this into a snare. And we've got some fantastic examples of snares right here with us in the kit. So super easy to replicate, right? I've got some twine in here to help camouflage those snares, because this bright wire is going to stick out. But if you can mask it with this, it's going to hide in the bush so much better, right? A small folding saw to be able to cut limbs and stuff and brush up your traps, hide them a little bit better. This is actually a passive fishing kit with waxed bank line, some wire, and there's some fishing hooks taped inside here, and a little tiny piece of ferrocerium rod in case I need to start a fire. Again, more spare spools of wire. Gotta have it. And a clip ring, because you never know when you're going to need to clip something or make something to hang something, right? This guy's not plastic. It's not going to melt over a fire. So if I had to hang a pot from this, I totally could. And I've got plenty of wire and twine to do just that. This twine, many uses, right? You can use this as a fire starter. You can use it to camouflage stuff. You can use it is as cordage, right? Fantastic stuff. All contained in this little watertight kit with the waterproof seal around it. Keep everything in good condition. Keep it clean and in good working order. That's what you're looking for in a kit. I almost forgot one of the most important pieces of this kit. This little tiny folding multi-tool. Spring-loaded wire cutters built into it right there. A few small tools on either side. Doesn't have to be big. Doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to pay a fortune for it. It just has to work when you need it. Test these things out before you're going to bet your life on something like this. You want to make sure it's not a total piece of crap and it is going to do the job that you need it to do. This little guy right here more than served my needs for chopping up this little bit of piano wire and stuff. No big deal for it, right? So it's not something I'm going to baton wood with, but in a pinch, I am going to need this thing to make snares in the future. And I got to do a little bit more research because I haven't made snares, and it's something that I need to learn as well. I carry all the wire. I figure it's pretty simple, but let's try it together. Research be damned. Let's just do it, right? Let's take a piece of this wire. I'm going to yank this guy out of here. We'll make it as long as this guy, for argument's sake, and maybe even a little bit longer. There we go. We got a good piece there. We'll add another ravel just because. We'll take our little multi-tool and clip it. Look at that. Nice and easy. Worked perfectly, guys. Perfectly. And then, of course, we'll take the end of our wire and tether our spool back together so this thing doesn't spring out on us, right? There we go. And we'll tuck that back in our kit. Now, from what I've seen on the old internet, snares are very simple. So we make a loop, right? Cross them over each other. And then I'm just going to fold this guy in on itself. Make sure that it can slide, right? And we're going to go around a couple times to make a barrel out of this guy. There we go. We're around a few times. I haven't even used the pliers again. Go around a few times. We want to make sure this other cord slides through here, right? So now we have ourselves a snare. Oh, I think I went too tight with my loops. I got to loosen these guys up a little bit. So we'll back it off. Again, trial and error, right? That's how I learn the best. Trying things out and seeing what works. All right, we don't want to kink our wire too bad. We want to keep it smooth so this guy slides nice and easy. This is pretty kinked up, honestly. All right, we're going to leave that loop big this time. We're not going to go so tight. There we go. We want one that slides nice and easy. That's pretty easy. So when a little critter gets stuck in there, it's going to cinch down on them and it's not going to let off, right? When they start flopping, it's going to bend this around and that's not going to move anymore. Then you got yourself a squirrel on a wire. How about that? See if I can get that to focus on that little guy. Not perfect, but you get the point. Snares are easy to make. You can do this out of almost any kind of cordage. You can do this out of 550 cord if you had it, right? The trick is this guy has to be a little on the loose side, but once it tightens down, you don't want it to back off. I'm probably doing this all wrong. So, folks in the comment section, if you know snares, you know what you're talking about, feel free to chime in. I'm happy to be educated by somebody. The smoother, the better, right? Get it working real smooth. Bingo. Snare. Then this end, you want to fold over, wrap around itself, give yourself a real good tie out point, right? I like to go back through with the loop just to make it a little bit tighter. Ratchet this guy down. Bam. Little loop to tether this guy to. Maybe use some of that baling twine in there. And we got a makeshift snare already, guys. With that giant spool, you could make dozens and dozens of these things. Put them everywhere. Passive protein. That's what we're going to call it, the passive protein kit. Well, thank you for hanging out with me and learning about snares today and passive protein and how you may be able to supplement your SHTF diet with some fur bearers. Food for thought. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. We'll catch you on the next one.